Welcome to Mysteries, Myths, and Legends. I'm Taylor.
I'm Savannah.
And boy, has it been a few couple of days.
I know.
For us.
Yeah, so we've had a rough couple of days, as has the rest of America. So I know usually this show we don't really talk about a lot of this stuff, but I'm just gonna get into this for a sec. So we wanted to just make it clear with everybody listening that we do not agree with and did not vote for the current president. And the inauguration happened yesterday. We're both sort of, just seeing everything that's happening and the propaganda and just everything. And I don't know. We don't usually like to bring it into this podcast, but we just felt like we had to let you know where we stand on all of this.
And also, we have a lot of listeners outside of the country as well.
Yeah.
And, I feel like that's important to you guys, too, just to know as people who we are and what we believe in. So, yeah. But love to everybody out there. Peace and love for real.
I know. Yeah.
And hopefully things get better. That's all we can hope for.
Yeah. So. Hopefully. We're not gonna harp on it for too long. No. We can get into the good vibes of this show. We do have some little updates from the past few days before all of that other stuff happened. With TikTok being banned and all of that. But before that happened, we went and saw the Bob Dylan movie.
Yes, A Complete Unknown. Savannah, rate it 1 out of 10.
Oh, I don't know. Like
just as a movie in general. Not even the whole story. Just the movie.
7.
Yeah, I was going to say 8.
Okay.
I really liked it.
Okay.
Honestly.
I
learned a lot.
Okay. Yeah. We love Woody Guthrie.
And we stan Pete
Seeger.
Pete Seeger, God. Man.
He was
Pete
the
Seeger,
best.
Man. What honestly, a guy. Though, rest in peace to Pete Seeger, for real.
These people, these folk singers, it's a good time to get into them if we're being so real.
Guys,
from
go
what we
listen
just
to
talked
Pete Seeger and Woody Guthrie. That's
please.
What,
and even Johnny Cash. I'm just
yeah.
Honestly, Bob Dylan, he's the character. But, listen to his music.
Yeah.
In the movie, he was, the least liked character in the movie.
We loved everybody. Listen, hear me out. I'm there for Timothy Chalamet. I'm sad. But we really loved everybody else more in the movie than him, unfortunately. No hate to Bob Dylan, but we just like the other people better.
Right, I know.
It was a great
but honestly,
movie.
It is a good kind of timing of this movie with everything going on too. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, and
you really should go see it.
Yeah, you should.
Or just watch it at home. It's really good.
Yeah.
I actually knew not one single thing about Bob Dylan.
I know, me either.
Other than a couple songs that are really famous of his.
Yeah.
And then I learned a lot. I learned a lot about a lot of things I did not have any idea about. So
yeah, that's true.
It was a great movie. And I also went and saw Wolfman in 4DX, which is where, if you don't know, the seats move. There's wind, rain, snow, fog.
Crazy.
There's
Did it rain on you?
No, but it sprayed me with water. There was no rain in the movie. Wolfman was, honestly, had it not been in 4DX, I would say 4 out of 10.
Oh my gosh, 4? That's low.
Yeah, but because it was in 4DX, I would say 7 out of 10 because I just had such a fun time getting thrown around.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, the movie itself, sorry, unfortunately, maybe even 3.5. But
oh, there you go.
Yeah, anyway, movie review over. In positive news, very positive news, Girl Scout cookies are back.
Yes.
I love Girl Scout cookies. Go support your local Girl Scouts if you have any near you and buy some cookies because them cookies are good. My favorite current ones are the Adventurefuls and peanut butter patties.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite?
Right
now. Mine change all the time. Me too.
I like all of them.
Favorite. You have to name at least two. At least two.
Caramel Delights.
Bop.
Thin Mints.
Bop. Yeah. I can't really rate them on what I can't rate them. No, okay. I'll say peanut butter patty 1. I can't pick a 2. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the rest are amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah. So shout out to Adriana for giving me some Girl Scout cookies. Mm-hmm. But the last positive news that I have, at least, is that January is finally almost over. And if you know me in Savannah, you know January is our most hated month.
Yeah.
And it's really been a rough one this time, honey.
It really has.
It's been like...
Oh my gosh. For multiple reasons.
For so many reasons. The list is so long. But we are almost out of the clear. We are almost into February. And that's when the vibes are starting to come up. Mm-hmm. We're getting closer to spring. Groundhog Day. That dang groundhog. Yes. Listen here, groundhog. You better tell me right immediately that it's going to be spring.
I know.
Sir.
Yeah. I still...
You hear me now.
If it's seeing the shadow or not?
Absolutely not. I don't remember. Either. We'll look it up when it becomes closer to Groundhog's Day, but I'm just trying to forewarn that groundhog. He better say it's spring.
Or I know.
That something might happen
in early spring, yeah.
I'm just kidding. No hate to the groundhog if he says it's winter, but I'm still going to be mad at him.
Okay.
But do you have anything else to add, Savannah?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, all I have to say is please go rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. But if you want to get into your story, Savannah.
Okay. So this episode actually falls on the Lunar New Year.
Ooh, fun.
Yes. So we're going to talk about the Lunar New Year, also known as the Spring Festival or Chinese New Year. So I have actually talked about the New Year a few other times on the podcast. Different, times, we've talked about different types of New Year stuff.
Oh, yeah. New Year's, traditions, superstitions.
Yeah. So on episode 95, we talked about different New Year superstitions. And 141, I talked about why we celebrate it on January 1st.
Mm-hmm. Boo, by the way. I'm still in favor of the boo on that.
I know, yeah. So go back
if you want to know. Yeah, I was going to say, if you want to know what I'm talking about, go listen to why I'm saying boo.
Yeah. So, but yeah, now I'm going to talk about a different one, the Chinese New Year. So, Taylor, what do you know about Chinese New Year? Anything?
I just know that it's a really big celebration.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
Oh, okay. So what I think of is there's a parade with the dragons.
Oh, definitely the parade of the dragons.
Red
outside
everywhere.
Oh, definitely red, because red is good luck.
Yeah.
Like those little fishies, you know?
Yeah. And fireworks and stuff. And
yeah.
Yeah. So all of these things that I just listed are actually there's a reason behind why, or there's a story behind why all of those are used for the New Year. So we're gonna get into it. The story is the legend of Nian. I hope I'm saying that right. I know, Taylor, I know you've been on Red Note.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you know Chinese more than I do.
Oh, well, how is it spelled?
Nian.
Nian?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Okay. Well, whatever. Nian, I don't know. It is translated to year in Chinese.
Oh, okay.
So, and it's the oldest traditional festival in China. But in ancient times, there was a monster. Supposedly, this is the story. A monster named Nian, who had sharp teeth and horns on its head. It looked like a lion, but just with that horn on its head.
One singular horn?
I've seen like one or multiple.
Oh, okay.
It uses it to attack its prey. It secluded itself in the sea, so lived like at the bottom of the ocean.
Creepy.
But at the end of the year, on the last day of the year, it would come to shore and hunt the people and the livestock.
Oh my God.
And each year, on the last day of the year, when this guy came out, the people of this town that it would come and attack, they would go to the remote mountains to hide from this monster.
I get
They
that.
they would like eat their dinner early, lock up all their livestock, and basically just run away to hide before the sun came down.
This is the first story I think you've ever told, or me, where like I'm like, yes, like,
oh, like,
run away from the monster. Yes, that's exactly what you should do.
I mean, I guess we'll see.
Oh no.
What happens.
Oh no.
So one year, there was an old man with silver hair who had arrived in the town, like just at the end of the year. So he didn't really have anywhere to stay. And everybody else was running away and heading to the mountains. He decided to stay back in the town while everybody else left. He did not have anywhere to stay, but a woman let him stay in her home. So
That's nice.
that was nice, at least, right? She tried to get him to come with them, but he wouldn't. He heard about this monster, and he's like, I promise, like, I'll get it out of the town. Like, I'm not gonna let it scare me.
Period, sir.
Which is honestly, like, take some advice from him, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
We can't just be running away.
do it yourself.
So when this monster came ashore, he was ready. And like both of them were ready, the man and the monster. So the monster, he was ready to like destroy the town just as usual. But he could like feel in the air. He's like, there's something off about this year. Like, what is different? And he sees like a glowing in the distance. And it's the house that this man is staying at.
Okay.
So this monster comes up to the house and he looks at it. And it's like the doors and the windows were covered in red paper. And there were candles glowing from inside. Just like bright lights. This monster was starting to get scared. He was like, this is really strange. What is happening?
Right. Normally there's nobody here. What's going on?
Yeah. So, and then he went to the front door of this house. The old man stepped out in a red gown and he started laughing at this monster.
That's savage.
And he set off fireworks and lit firecrackers to scare him away. So the monster, like, this worked. The monster got so scared of these fireworks that he ran back into the sea.
Wow.
So
Nice.
honestly, lesson here, just literally just stand up for yourself.
Stand up for yourself, except for like maybe not if it's a real actual big monster.
I mean, maybe even if it is, because it worked. So.
Well, I'm just saying out of personal experience, when I was playing Fortnite yesterday, there's currently Godzilla in Fortnite. And you know what? I felt that spirit, that same spirit that came over that man where he was like, this time's going to be different.
Oh my God.
And that same spirit washed over me. And I said, this time's going to be different. And I'm going to kill Godzilla. Because I had the Godzilla killing gun. And then he tore me apart in absolutely 1 second. I was dead.
1 second, that's it.
Maybe just evaluate the size and strength of the monster. But, like, if it's not too big, go for it. Because you got it.
Yeah.
Unless it's Godzilla.
I mean, I guess so. He ended up keeping the town safe, this old man, and all the homes and the livestock, they were still intact. Nothing had been destroyed this year. So the next day when they came back to the town, the people like honored the man and said that he must be a celestial being because they would come to help them. So from then on, and still to this day, On the last day of the lunar year, people will hang red lanterns, set off firecrackers, and keep the lights on all night and stay up late to keep safe from the monster and keep him away.
I love the killer.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
And as time went on, the custom spread to all of China and developed into one of the most important festivals in China, Lunar New Year's Eve. So
Wait, so what day is it?
It's so the day this episode comes out is the Lunar New Year, so the day before, like the night leading up to.
Oh, okay.
So by the time this is out, it's over.
Sorry. Sorry it happened last night if you're listening when it comes out.
Yeah, sorry guys. But it's a good story to like, you know.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. I had no idea why they did. I was like, it's pretty. That's why.
I know. And then there's like a random dragon like going through.
Yeah. It's
like
the
I
monster.
never knew.
It's the monster.
They're scaring him away.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that story.
There are some other Lunar New Year's Eve traditions. Just, you know, so you can get the vibe of the what it's like over there. So New Year's Eve dinner is a big thing around there. It's sort of like a family reunion dinner. So kind of, I mean, sort of like a Christmas dinner here or like Thanksgiving even.
Mm-hmm.
So like people will gather at a family member's house and share a meal together, especially if they live far away, like all come together. So that's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause here, like New Year's Eve is not really like a time to eat dinner. Yeah, like not really. It's actually not really a family time at all.
Not family and not really dinner. Like I feel like New Year's Eve is like snacks.
Yes.
And alcohol.
Yeah, exactly. Fireworks are very big, of course, just to drive away the dragon, the monster.
Have to.
Drives away just all evil. And the person who launches the first firework of the year will have good luck. So.
Okay. First of all,
you're
getting some fireworks.
I know, you're always up for doing stuff for good luck, you know?
Yeah, I need some good luck. So, I might have to light a firework.
Yeah.
Because, unlike you guys, I will know this information before.
I know, yeah. So, after New Year's Eve dinner, the family members would traditionally, like, stay up all night. But nowadays, people kind of just stay up until after the fireworks.
Yeah.
Not, like, super late into the morning or anything. But that was, like, an old tradition. Also, just lighting fires and fireworks everywhere. Just anything bright lights. And it's all to scare away the monster, you know?
You have to.
It's all symbolic, too. Because it's like, you know, a lot of our other traditions that I covered in that other episode I mentioned, it was a lot about getting rid of the old year and all the stuff. We want to kick it out the door, you know.
Yeah.
Make sure it doesn't follow us into the new year.
Yeah. We gotta scare it away.
Exactly, same kind of thing. And the red envelopes are a big thing in China. People give each other red envelopes with money in them. Usually they're given to children by adults. And the money is supposed to, or like the color red is just big with this festival. And it's like to keep away evil spirits, or just evil. Keep away evil. And give them a long, healthy life.
Love that.
There's also like a New Year's market that gets set up during this festival. They're set up to sell like New Year's goods, basically. So like clothing, lanterns, fireworks, food, just all for this festival.
Perfect.
So like, yeah, it's like
everything you need.
Exactly, yeah. So you don't have any red clothes, like go down there and get some.
Amazing.
And there is this interesting little tradition here that the last day of the year, it's believed that the kitchen god will leave the family, go to heaven, and report the family's activities to the Emperor of Heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Which is probably such a dumbed down version of this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But, like, it's low-key kind of giving Santa.
Kind of.
You know?
I mean, like, kind of.
Or, like, Elf on the Shelf. Like, he's going to, like...
yeah, he's going to tell
what they've been up to. But
that's
apparently that happens. Some people believe this. Or they, you know, play along with it, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's tradition to, if you have an image of the kitchen god in your house, you burn it on the last day of the year and then get a new one for the new year.
Oh, okay, so, cool.
Interesting.
That's really cool.
And cleaning, a few days before the new year, people will do a complete cleaning of the house, removing old and welcoming new, of course. And historically, people would actually bathe at this time to wash off the last year. And that was like more when people didn't bathe as much, you know?
Yeah.
You know, because like there was a time in history when that happened. So this was like a good time, like, okay, time to bathe, like get ready for the new year.
Yeah.
So, go into the new year clean. But nowadays, like, we do very often. So it's probably like, I mean, you still can, but...
yeah.
Not as symbolic, I feel like, but yeah. And the most important one, I feel like, is just to decorate everything in red to bring good luck, prosperity, and ward off evil.
I love that.
So, yeah. And that's just, you know, a little summary of the Lunar New Year. I really had no idea anything about it. And
me neither. I mean, obviously I knew it was a big celebration, but I didn't know any of the details, and that's really cool. I love the story, too. So it's so cute.
I know. And it's like, it is a good message behind it, too. Just like to...
Great message. Stand up for yourself.
Stand up to your oppressors.
Yeah. What a great time for this story, too.
I know, yeah.
Also, I do just want to say, for our New Year's, me and Savannah also did clean out, like a big major clean out of all of our stuff. So I'm proud of us for doing that without even knowing. So we were getting rid of the bad energy.
Yeah.
And welcoming the good.
True.
Love that. Well, I'm going to have to find a firework.
Okay, yeah.
Is what I'm going to have to do. And I might have to put up a little bit of red.
I know.
Just for the good luck.
And see, I also picked this because, you know, I still haven't downloaded Red Note. But you have. And I feel like Chinese culture is just...
It's in right now.
Yeah. It is. Like, we have to know about the Lunar New Year.
Yeah, we do. Because they're about to celebrate it. So we're going to see. Yeah. It's going to be fun to watch, like, their celebrations of it.
Yeah, and now you know. Now you know the story.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, transitioning is going to be impossible.
Okay.
Because I have for you a haunted house.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, we love a good haunted house here. Obviously. Who doesn't? But the reason why I chose this story this week, actually, me and Savannah have a little trip coming up here soon.
We do.
To one of our favorite places, Charleston, South Carolina. A place we talk about quite often on this podcast. Because it is one of America's most haunted cities. And we do happen to be going there. So I was like, maybe I can find a place where we can go visit. And I don't even know if we can go visit here. But we can definitely at least see the outside, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
But, so I'm going to tell you today the legend of the Sword Gates House.
Okay.
Yes. So there's really not a lot of setup, so let's just kind of jump right on into it. Today, the Sword Gates House sits as a 17,000 square foot mansion located really close to the water in Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, that seems dangerous.
It's not too close to the water, but it's like close enough where you could definitely like walk.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's gotten flooded. I'm positive, actually. Today, it has 9 bedrooms and 16 bathrooms, which is
crazy. That's huge.
Huge. What? I mean, it's 17,000 square feet, so it's huge.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely stunning. I'll show you pictures at the end. It is so beautiful. Like, even if we can just see the outside, that's fine. Because that's how pretty it is. But I do think it's privately owned. But
so we can't like see
I don't know, because also I saw places I just don't know what's true. So we'll just have to kind of see once we go there.
Okay.
Take a little stroll, see if we can enter the villa.
Yeah.
But it actually did not start out as this gorgeous mansion. In fact, back when it was built in 1776, it was a school for the daughters of the upper class families in Charleston, South Carolina. So like a little private school is what it used to be. So that's why it's so big. And for 50 years, the school was bordered only by a hedge and then like a wooden gate, like at the very beginning. And the strict headmistress of the school, Madame Talvande, she was convinced that her school was like perfectly fortified, like that big like hedge and the wooden gate was enough to keep her girls from like sneaking out in the middle of the night, getting into trouble, blah blah blah. So however, in 1828, the very pampered, very headstrong daughter of a very, very wealthy planter destroyed Madame Talvande's trust in that security system.
Oh, no. What?
As she would have called it back then.
Okay.
So, you see, we have 15-year-old Maria Whately.
Oh, okay.
Okay, she's 15. Let's just keep that in mind, okay?
Right.
And it's 1828, so she was born into a life of extreme privilege. She was very beautiful. So as this beautiful girl, she caught the eye of a ton of men in the town, also because they knew how rich her family was. So obviously you can imagine all these men are throwing themselves at her. She's 15. It's the times, I understand, but that's disgusting.
Yes, it is.
I will always say it's disgusting and I don't care. But when she met George Morris, this was different. Oh, George. She immediately fell in love with George. And Maria's father, Colonel Whately, strongly disapproved of this match. And the reason was, even though George made like a really good living for himself, his earnings did not even come close to how rich her family was. And so basically her dad was like, it's not enough. Which is crazy because they were literally one of the top 2 wealthiest families like of all time in Charleston at the time. So like only one other family would have had even the option to be wealthier than them. So, and she's like, but I love him.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't care. He's poor. Even though he's not even poor. Like, I have to stress.
Who was he trying to get her to marry then? There must have been somebody else.
I didn't see anything. He was just like, no, you need to wait.
Okay.
Wait until there's somebody who's richer than me. So, but I just have to stress enough, like, George was not even poor. Like, he made a lot of money, actually.
Yeah.
But, like, he was like, it's not enough. You're not a million billionaire. So, anyway, it also did not help that George was from New York, so her dad kind of considered him an outsider anyway.
Yeah.
But the two loved each other and were determined to get married. Okay, they were determined. So Colonel Whately encouraged every man in town to deny George a room to stay in because he was from out of town. So George literally bought a tent and slept on the ground just to be able to be near Maria, which is so cute. So, because they literally were not, like, nothing was stopping them from seeing each other, kind of Romeo and Juliet situation going on.
Yeah.
Maria's family, the Whateleys, they actually had intended on homeschooling Maria and her siblings, but given the circumstances between the two, they wanted to put distance between Maria and George, and so they enrolled Maria in Madame Talvande's girls' school, where she would have to move away and be far away from George. And Madame Talvande's girls' school, their motto was, quote, where women are taught to be ladies, unquote. So,
Okay, I see. Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I'm sure we had some really good lessons, like, taught in that school.
Right.
Psych. Anyway, Maria, she didn't really have a choice, but so she had to kind of obey her parents, go to the school. But she's at the school. She's so depressed about George. She's so completely depressed that she can't be with him. Mm-hmm. But she didn't have to be depressed long because somehow, some way, he got a letter to her.
Okay.
In the school. And this man, I don't know much about George, okay?
Okay.
So I don't want to speak too much on his character, but at least his love for Maria is the sweetest I've ever seen, okay?
Okay, I mean, that's something.
It's something because he literally arranged their entire wedding involving a plan of how to sneak her out of the school and back into the school so that they could be wed. So then the school would have no choice but to like let her go with him because they're wed.
Insane.
And so he like had all these people who were working on the inside of the school and to like arrange all of this to happen, and then wrote this in this letter and sent it to her. And she was like, "What in the world? I guess I'm getting married tomorrow." Because he was like, "Yeah, this is happening tomorrow. Like, sorry, it's the only time I can make it work."
It's the only time it fits into our schedules.
Literally. So that's the way it's going to have to be. So, she was able to sneak away and make it to her wedding. Maria and George were wed, and they were so happy. So all they had to do now was sneak her back into the school, and then the next day he was going to come to the school and pick up his wife, and they were going to have to let him go.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Okay, this is wild. So,
but that's how it worked back then.
Yeah.
If you were married, you know, like,
and he's just this New York boy coming down to Charleston, and
fell in love.
I bet that's the reason why her dad didn't like him.
Yeah,
it's mainly just because he's from New York.
Like, she's gonna go to New York.
Not even that, just because he's not a Southerner.
Oh, for sure. That's for sure.
Like, that's probably it.
Yeah. Amongst amongst
other things, I guess. But.
For sure. But no, you're right. You're right. A good Southern man, a rich, wealthy Southern man in Charleston, South Carolina. That's a horrible accent. But
he's going to let his daughter marry a Yankee?
A Yankee?
Like,
absolutely not. Not if he can help it.
I mean, but he can't, I guess.
He can't. He sure can't, because guess what? They got married, honey. Legally, too.
How old were they?
She was 15.
So she was still 15 when she got married?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. It was quick. It was a quick love. It was immediate.
So back then you didn't need parental permission?
No, I don't think so.
That's crazy.
I mean, they did it anyway. So, anyway, their plan was that they were going to get Maria back into school, and then he would come pick her up, and then they were going to go on their honeymoon. Everything was going so smoothly. They got back to school. They drop her off. They get out of there as quick as they can. Mm-hmm. She's trying to sneak into the front door. Unfortunately, it's raining.
Oh.
And she's, like, sneaking into the front door, but her foot, like, slips on the wet ground. And she falls, like, half inside, half outside, but, like, in the mud puddles.
No.
So there was this woman that was in charge of the girls' dorm named Miss Halburn. She saw Maria standing. I guess she also, like, low-key hurt herself because she, like, got up really slowly and she was just, like, you know, like, when you hurt yourself for, like, stub your toe and you just got to stand there for a minute because you're like, that just hurts so bad. I'm imagining that's what she was doing. So she's, like, standing at the door and she's just like, that was rough. And then Miss Halburn saw her standing there, and I guess maybe she was laying there, like, in the cold rain for a minute. Like, I think she kind of actually hurt herself because Miss Halburn was so afraid to ask any questions because she was so afraid of Maria catching hypothermia. Like, so I guess she might have been laying there for a minute. Like, actually kind of hurt, like, when she fell.
Oh, my God.
Unfortunately. Okay. So, like, she didn't even get asked, like, hey, where, why, what, who, what, when, and where, and why.
Yeah.
Were you, like, coming in the front door and all this? Because they were like, we just gotta get her warm. So, yeah, she brings her inside, gets her cleaned up, warmed up, and doesn't ask any questions. And she's just like, you just need to go to bed. And so, whatever. Yeah. She was like, whew, that was Close, honey.
Yeah.
That was close. So the next morning, George appears at the front door of the school. And he tells the housekeeper he's there to pick up Miss Morris. And so the housekeeper is like, well, there's no Miss Morris here at this school. And because, of course, obviously they had not been made aware of her name change quite yet.
You mean Mrs.?
Mrs. Excuse me. Mrs. Morris. Mm-hmm. And so at this point in time, because George is talking to the lady that helped her last night.
Okay, yeah.
At this point, she's like, oh, and like things are adding up. And it was at this point in time also that Madame Talvande like enters this conversation, and she's like, what's going on? Mm-hmm. She gets filled in. And as I'm sure you can imagine, she was very angry.
Yeah.
So she had all of the girls in the school line up in a single file line on the front lawn, and she demanded to know who had been sneaking out. And after a few minutes, Maria came forward, and she was like, I snuck out. It was me. I had to sneak out so I could marry George. And this made Madame Talvande extremely furious. She went into a blind rage. She started throwing chairs, making this huge scene.
Oh my God.
And because she's making this huge scene, our hero of the story, George, he's still there. Yeah. Obviously. He grabs Maria's arm and like pulls her away into his carriage, and they get away. Somehow, Maria and George were able to escape, and from all accounts, they live like literally like happily ever after, like together. Oh my God, what? They just like moved away.
Okay, listen, this is so crazy, especially from like the parents' point of view. They send their kid here because they don't want her marrying this boy. Yeah. And then that's how, and she does anyway.
Yeah, and actually that's how they got married.
Yeah, and actually like you probably would have been able to prevent it better at your own house.
Exactly, right. But actually, fun fact, the family actually did forgive her, and they made up. Because I think that whole situation kind of opened their eyes to be like, okay, hey, maybe they really are just like in love.
Yeah.
You know, like I understand.
If they were willing to do
both sides of the story, honestly. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, good for them. Great for them. But as for Madame Talvande and her school for the girls, she was going to ensure that this was never going to happen again. Yeah. So she built a wall.
A wall?
All too familiar.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately.
Oh, no.
She built a very high wall around the school. Like, I don't know how tall, they didn't list the dimensions, but like very, very high. And then heavy-duty iron gates for the entrance. So for the next 11 years, there were no elopements from within her school.
Okay.
So it did work. People could not. It was now a jail, and they could not escape.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's really scary. But at this point, the parents were like, "Okay, are we sending our girls to school or prison?"
Right.
Like after these 11 years, they're like, "Okay, this is." We're kind of losing our trust in Madame Talvande, and eventually in 1849, the school ends up closing. Literally because of the bad press.
Oh my God.
Which is hilarious. Because George and Maria really did that. Mm-hmm. Like, just because they wanted to be together, and that's so cute. But, like, I'm just confused, like, why are they so mad? About the wedding?
Well, I mean, listen, the times were,
You're right.
way different, and also...
You're right.
It would be an outrage today for different reasons because she was 15.
You're right.
But back then it was because her parents didn't approve. And they just went off and did this.
Yeah.
And, like, that's just not how things are done.
Yeah, I literally did write on here, like, I guess it was the 1800s and they did take things way more seriously back then. Yeah. But, like, everything today is, like, that's just funny.
I know.
Like, that's funny. Like, please go run away from school and get married. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
But anyway, after the school closed, the grounds became a private residence, and that is how it has today became the mansion that I described at the beginning. And for years and years, subsequent owners of the old girls' school have claimed to see the ghost of the headmistress, Madame Talvande.
Okay.
Yep, there are a lot of reports of people seeing her ghost entering the north bedroom upstairs. But once they go up there, the room is completely empty. And people do say that was her, like, office or room, like, in the school anyway. So, interesting. Sometimes it is said that the doorknob to the stateroom will slowly turn and open, but, like, nobody is there opening the door. That's really creepy.
Oh, my God.
Can't even lie.
It's Maria trying to get back in.
That's funny. That's actually funny. Sometimes Madame Talvande's entire apparition will appear, and like when people see this, they say that it looks like she's scanning the room for misbehaving little girls. Like, oh my God, she's still, you know.
Well, okay. See, this is. I just thought of another reason why they were probably so, like, outraged by all of this happening at the school. It just shows that the people who run the school cannot keep control of these girls.
You're right. You're right. Know? They like, cannot.
Sure, these ghosts are scary, but they couldn't even keep this 15-year-old in this school.
Yep.
So.
Exactly. No, listen, I agree. That's so true. That is so true. And that's exactly why these same schools still don't work today.
I mean, true.
Anyway, that's a whole different tangent. But I would be, like, so scared to know, like, what some of her punishments were. And no sources that I had said anything about, like, anything that she did, like, as, like, the leader of this school. But, like, I would be scared to know. And I already know, like, they were not good, you know? Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but fun fact. This house actually was once owned by President Abraham Lincoln's granddaughter.
Okay.
In the 1930s. So,
interesting.
That's fun. Fun fact, Madame Talvande does appear to be the only ghost in the residence, but apparently she makes her presence known very often. And do you want to guess how much they sold this 17,000 square foot mansion in 2019?
Oh, wow. A lot.
Yeah.
Millions.
Definitely millions.
How many millions?
16 million.
16?
16.
I was going to say 6.
16 million
I
dollars.
also don't know.
Over. Actually, over $16 million. Closer to 17.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So let me show you some pictures of it so you can see how beautiful. Because I feel like I just don't really know how the heck they turned this school into this beautiful house. That is what
So people live here now?
Yeah. Yeah. Just scroll through. It is. I mean, they have like I forget what the trees are called in Charleston. Angel oaks, maybe. That are like huge, and like the weeping willows. You know.
This is beautiful.
It's absolutely stunning. It's crazy beautiful. So that's what I'm saying. We have to at least take a stroll by there.
I know,
because we can definitely see at least the outside of it. But yeah, I would be scared. Like, I don't want to be like, I would not want to spend $17 million to be scolded by like an old school teacher from the 1800s. Right, Are you kidding me? Like, no, get out of my mansion. Right, lady.
Exactly.
She's like, this is my school. Slaps the ruler on the desk. But yeah. Anyways, that was the legend of the Sword Gates house in Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh my God. I want to see that in person.
Yeah, same. And I wonder if we can go in there, like, because here's the thing. I saw some things that said it was a bed and breakfast, but I don't know if it meant now or if it previously was.
Oh, like, yeah, like in the past.
It seems like it was privately bought, but I think we should just walk by and see. And if the gate's open, I'm walking up.
Yeah.
Because if the gate's open, oh my God. Madam, you should have closed the gate if you didn't want me in there. I'm kidding. I'm not going to trespass on private property, guys. I'm not.
Okay. We believe you.
Okay. You don't sound like you do, but I'm really not going to.
Okay.
Anyways, well, definitely check out our Instagram to see pictures from our stories this week.
And happy Lunar New Year.
Happy Lunar New Year. That's kind of hard to say.
I know.
I didn't mess it up, but I almost
happy
did.
New Year.
Happy New Year. Over there in China. And to anybody else who celebrates the Lunar New Year. And I'm going to participate a little bit this year. I'm going to, if I can find a firework. I don't really know where I could do that, but maybe I can. But anyways, other than that, go check out our YouTube channel. And yeah, that's kind of really all I have for you guys this week. What about you, Savannah?
Yeah, that's all I have.
Okay, well then I guess we will see you guys next week.
Cue the music.